A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
All right, it's day 3 of our story about Ivan the gorilla who lives on top of a shopping mall with a few other animal friends. Now, the sad news was that when we began yesterday's story, Ivan had 2 animal friends up there, but at the end of yesterday's story, Ivan only had 1 other animal friend up there. I know, because Stella died. Stella the elephant, she died. It was so sad. But she was old, she was sick. You know, it's a sad thing in life, but it is part of life. But at least, before Stella died, she made good friends with Ruby, who's a baby elephant. So this is good for Ruby because she has Ivan, and it's good for Ivan because he has Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby has Ivan to take care of her, and Ivan has Ruby. So he has some company, so he doesn't feel so lonely and bored up there above the mall in his cage by himself. And speaking of cages, our warm-up question is all about animals in cages. What do you think? Is it okay to keep animals in cages? Why or why not?
Of course it's not okay. Well, they're just like us. We don't want to be caged, do we?
No, I wouldn't want to live in a cage.
Yeah,
that's
so
definitely true.
I don't like that.
I don't really like it, but in some ways, if you have to have an animal and it could be dangerous, it's best to put it in a cage, otherwise the animal could get hurt, the people could get hurt. But yeah, if we could leave the animals where they want to live and just watch them and admire them from a distance, that would be great. But you know, if you're going to have a zoo in the middle of the city, you can't really have the lions just kind of walking around everywhere, because then people could become the lion food, and that would be bad for everyone. So in a perfect world, animals shouldn't be in cages, but there are certain situations where it's safer for everyone if they are. But you're right, I wouldn't want to be in a cage. All right, guys, let's get to our article and find out what's going to happen today.
The one and only Ivan. Warm-up question. Is it okay to keep animals in cages? Why or why not?
Mac doesn't want Ruby to leave. He tries to teach her new tricks to make money. Mac hurts Ruby because she won't follow his orders. So Ivan comes up with an idea. He paints a picture of Ruby in a new home. Ivan gives his painting to a young visitor. She puts the painting next to the sign outside the mall. Visitors see the painting and get angry because Mac is mean to the animals. Mac has to close his business, and Ruby and Ivan move to a big zoo.
We can finally live in peace,
says Ruby. Ivan feels proud because he protected Ruby.
Word power. Trick. Trick. Joe's dog can do a cute trick. He can shake hands with people. Joe's dog can do a cute trick. He can shake hands with people. Visitor. Visitor. Visitors at the park can play on the slides and swings. Visitors at the park can play on the slides and swings. Mean. Mean. No one likes Laura because she says mean things about the other kids. No one likes Laura because she says mean things about the other kids. Protect. Protect. My umbrella protected my head from the rain, but my shoes still got wet. My umbrella protected my head from the rain, but my shoes still got wet.
认识字汇
Painting.
All right, so the article for today begins by telling us kind of about what's going on after Stella has died. Remember, before she died, Stella's last wish was that Mac, the manager of the mall, and also Ivan, the gorilla there, will take care of Ruby and make sure she has a nice place to live. Now that might mean moving Ruby to somewhere more like a zoo, or even sending her back to Africa, or wherever she's from. Maybe she's an Indian elephant, sending her back to a natural place, but certainly not in a cage on top of a mall. But this presents a problem. As we read, Mac, remember, he's the manager. He's the guy, the businessman who sort of runs the mall. Mac doesn't want Ruby to leave.
Possibly because he can still make money out of them.
That's
right?
probably a big part of it. Yeah.
所以 Mac 不希望 Ruby 离开。Why?
Well, as we said, he is a businessman, he is a manager, he has to keep people coming to the mall, making money, and well, that's kind of his main worry. If Ruby goes, the tourists and visitors will go and the money will go with them. So he's trying to do his best to keep her there. He tries to teach her new tricks to make money. So, standing on one leg, balancing a ball in her trunk, whatever they do with elephants in a circus or something like that. He's trying to get Ruby to do that.
所以 trick 就是戏法、把戏的意思。那么 Mac 不希望 Ruby 离开，因为他还想要教 Ruby 新把戏来赚钱呢。那所以 trick 是招数、把戏，我们在前面加上魔法 magic 就会变成 magic tricks， 就是魔法招数。那么 trick 这个字呢 ，you can use it as a verb， 代表哄骗的意思，像是 to trick someone into doing something， 所以就是欺骗某人去做什么。所以譬如说 they tricked the girl into signing the contract with them. 他们欺骗小女孩呢，跟他们签约。那我们看一下今天的课文例句。Joe's dog can do a cute trick. He can shake hands with people. Joe 的狗呢，可以做一个很可爱的把戏哦，它很会跟人握手。
So Mac wants to train Ruby to do some tricks so that tourists and other people will have some entertainment and will spend more money at the mall. But unfortunately, training an elephant is not a very nice thing for the elephant because it often involves hitting them and hurting them until they do the trick in the correct way. And that's pretty much what happens. Mac hurts Ruby because she won't follow his orders. This is why a lot of circuses and those places in Thailand where they used to entertain the tourists, they're not doing that kind of stuff anymore with elephants because most people now know that to train elephants, they need to be hit or beaten or hurt in some way, and that's what Mac is doing. Not nice. All right, well, we'll find out what happens after today's Magic Box.
Magic Box.
Hello， 大家好，我是艾赛。最近呢，就是我开始在培养一个新习惯，就是呢早上早起去健身房运动。那运动完之后呢，再来公司上班。那刚开始的就是早起的，就是头几天啊，真的是一个累到不行。不过大概适应个几天之后，就基本上早点睡就不会太累了。Because I have started to go to the gym in the morning, I need to go to bed earlier every day. 那早睡早起对身体其实也蛮棒的，就是睡前呢，大家少玩一点手机，那每天大概尽量睡满8小时，身体也会比较健康一点点。好啦，那在我刚刚讲的这个例句当中呢，相信大家应该有发现，今天我要来教大家什么样的文法了吧？没错，就是连接词 because 的用法。那 because 本身呢，它其实是一个连接词哦，用来连接两个完整的子句。那基本上呢，两个子句之间呢是有我们所谓的因果关系的，因为中文我们常常会说因为怎么样，所以怎么样。但是呢，在英文里面呢，因为是 because， 那所以呢是 so。那我们在使用上呢，因为两个句子只能用一个连接词来连接，所以这两个连接其实是不可以连接在一起同时使用的哦。那我们来造一个例句吧。 Because my brother studies very hard, he gets good grades. 那因为我弟呢就是很认真念书，所以呢他得到了好成绩。那当然这句话呢，我也可以把它变成 My brother get good grades because he studies very hard. 那大家要记得哦 ，because 如果把它放在句首的话呢，两个句子中间我们要加上一个逗点把它隔开哦。那如果 because 放在句中的时候，则是不用加上逗点。那这句话呢，其实我们也可以把它改成用连接词 so 的用法，比方说 My brother studies really hard， 逗点 so he gets good grades。那当然，就我们也可以用 so 连接这两个句子嘛。那最后我们来教教大家认识 because of 这个片语。那因为of 本身是一个介系词，那这个片语呢，它的意思表示是因为以及由于。那因为 of 的关系，我们在后面呢，则是要加上一个名词或者是一个动名词。那我们来造一个例句 ：Because of the typhoon, all the flights were cancelled. 因为台风的关系呢，所有的班机呢都被取消了。好啦，那今天教你们就是一些 because 当连接词的用法，以及 because of 的一个用法。那希望大家都学起来了。那我们下次见，拜拜。
因为啊 ，Ruby 不听指令，所以 Mac 就会伤害他哦。
This is not a good situation, but luckily Ruby has a friend up there who's looking out for her. Ivan the gorilla, remember him? He has a fairly easy life, right? People don't really expect gorillas to do tricks. They're just kind of amazing to look at. And Ivan spends most of his day doing art, eating bananas, watching TV. But Ivan is also watching this happen. He's seeing what Mac is doing to Ruby, and he doesn't like it much. So we read, Ivan comes up with an idea. You can almost imagine that light bulb, ding, going off above his head as he goes, I know what I'm going to do to help Ruby. So what does he do? What is his big idea? He paints a picture of Ruby in a new home.
Ooh,
interesting.
That's smart.
So yeah, remember Ivan is an artist, so he picks up his brushes or whatever, gets his paint together, and he paints a picture of a cute little baby elephant in a new home. So not in a cage, not on top of a mall, maybe in a forest or in a jungle or, you know, somewhere much nicer, hopefully, because this place where they live is not where Ruby should be.
所以这只大象呢，不是 ，sorry， 猩猩 ，Ivan 的不是大象哦，是猩猩。所以猩猩呢 ，come up with something，这个就是片语想出、提出一件主意或计划。比如 I came up with something that's really interesting。我们常常用这个片语，所以 Ivan 呢就想起一个好方法，他画出了一张画，然后这张画里面呢 ，Ruby 在他新的家。
All right, so Ivan the gorilla is painting a picture of Ruby the elephant. It's you can get kind of confused here. Anyways, so what does Ivan do with his wonderful new piece of art, his wonderful new painting of Ruby? Well, it says Ivan gives his painting to a young visitor.
Okay.
Interesting. So he's really got a good plan here. He's thought about this stuff. He does the painting. He doesn't just, give it to Mac or hold it up or put it up on the wall or something. He waits until someone comes, a young boy or a young girl, a young person comes to visit and to look at the animals, and then he gives the painting to this young visitor.
Oh, okay.
What's the plan here?
所以 painting 就是绘画作品，所以 Ivan 呢就把他的作品给了一位年轻的 visitor。我们来看一下这个单字。所以 visitor 就是参观者、访客的意思。那么呢，我们很好记的是，我们把 or 拿掉，就是 visit。大家应该对这个字有印象吧？它就是有可以当动词啊，也可以当名词。那当名词的时候呢，我们喜欢用一个片语去参观、去拜访谁。我们可以说 to pay someone a visit or to pay a visit to someone。所以你可以说 Don't forget to pay me a visit when you're back。当你回来的时候，别忘了来拜访我哦。那我们看一下今天的课文例句。Visitors at the park can play on the slides and swings。在公园的游客呢，可以玩溜滑梯跟荡秋千。
So Ivan has created this painting of Ruby in a perfect place for her to live, a good, healthy, wonderful place. He's given this painting to a young visitor. Now, what does this young visitor, this young person who came to visit, what does this person do? Well, we find out first it was a young girl, a little girl he gave the painting to, and then we read she puts the painting next to the sign outside the mall.
Oh.
So there was a sign, remember, by the parking lot of the mall that said, come in and see Ivan the gorilla. It might now say, come in and see Ivan the gorilla and Ruby the elephant. Well, this young visitor brings this picture down and puts it next to the sign. So if you're looking at the sign advertising the animals, you will also see this picture.
Cool. 所以这个年轻的参观者就把这个画作放在商场外的标示旁。大家还记得标示就是写 the one and only， 就是这只独一无二的 Ivan.
Yeah, exactly. So visitors, we read, see the painting and get angry because Mac is mean to the animals. So Ivan's painting is showing where Ruby should be, living in a forest or somewhere happy and healthy. And then, of course, the visitors see that Ruby, this little baby, is not somewhere happy or healthy. She's being beaten. She lives in a cage. She's being forced to do tricks for tourists. And they can see that Mac, the owner of the animals or the owner of the mall, is not nice. He's mean to these animals because, you know, he is.
所以 mean 就是很刻薄的、凶恶的。那大家看到这个画作就很生气，因为 Mac 对里面的动物太刻薄了。所以听到别人在骂别人啊，或讲别人坏话，说一些不好的话的时候，你就可以跟对方说：“哎 ，Don't be so mean， 不要这么坏嘛。”就有点像中文的“不要这么坏”，或者是 “Why do you have to be so mean？ 你怎么那么坏啊？”那么 mean 这个字呢，我们就是当动词有表示什么的意思。譬如说，这个字是什么意思 ？What does the word mean？ 或者是你不知道别人是什么意思，可以问说，What do you mean？ 你是什么意思呢？那我们看一下课文的例句。No one likes Laura because she says mean things about the other kids。没有人喜欢 Laura， 因为她会说其他小朋友的坏话。
So, Ivan's plan seems to be working, and, well, we find out, yes, it really did work in a much bigger way than maybe even he expected. It says Mac has to close his business. No more animal shows at the mall. And what happened to the animals? And Ruby and Ivan move to a big zoo. Nice. Well, maybe it's not back in the wild, back where they're from, but at least it's better than a cage, and it might be a nice big place. They can run around, they can play with the other animals. That is definitely better than living on the roof of a mall.
So they can make more friends at the zoo.
Exactly.
Yeah, 所以 Mac 就必须关掉了，倒闭。那么 Ruby 跟 Ivan 呢，就必须他们就搬到一个大大的动物园。
And Ruby may be a little baby, maybe a young elephant, but after living with Stella and learning from Ivan and Stella, Ruby knows that this is a good thing. She says, we can finally live in peace, says Ruby. No more tricks, no more being hit, no more Mac, no more cages. They have some freedom and some healthy places to live and play.
所以 in peace 就是平静的、宁静的。所以 Ruby 就说啊，终于可以过平静的生活了。
All right, and how does Ivan feel? Well, Ivan really did have this great idea. He made it happen and it worked. So the article says, Ivan feels proud because he protected Ruby. That's right, and he fulfilled Stella's dying wish. Good on you, Ivan.
Yay! 那我们来看一下 protect 这个字。所以 protect 就是保护，那么我们可以说 to protect A from or against B， 就是保护 A 免受于 B 的伤害。So for example, I wear sunglasses to protect my eyes from the sun。我戴太阳眼镜，所以眼睛比较不会被阳光伤害到。那么加上 ION 在最后会变 protection， 就是它的名词保护的意思。所以 Ivan 好骄傲哦，因为他把 Ruby 照顾得很好。那今天的课文例句是 My umbrella protected my head from the rain, but my shoes still got wet. 我的雨伞呢，可以防止我的头不淋到雨，但是我的鞋子还是湿了。
So there we go, a happy ending.
Yay.
That's pretty good. There aren't enough happy endings these
days.
I like
happy endings.
But that is it. That's the end of the story. Yeah, it's a good, happy one. And it's also time for review. So maybe it's not exactly a happy ending for us because we got to review the vocabulary. But it won't be so bad. So let's go and do that now.
Review time.
Okay, it's our review time, and we're going to do a little game where I'm going to take a word out of a sentence, and you guys have to guess. Well, actually, you have to guess what that word is. You can play along at home, but you're the only one here to actually guess. Now, that sounds a little tricky, but don't worry, because of course, the word that is missing is one of our vocabulary words for today. Okay. So really, you only have 4 choices for what the right word is, what the missing word is. Are you ready?
Yes.
I have to think of a little story I can make up. Okay, I was sitting at home when I heard a knock on my door. I thought I must have a blank. I was sitting at home. I heard a knock on the door.
Your neighbor knocked on the door.
And
you don't know who
I thought I must have a blank.
A guest. But that's a visitor.
A visitor, that's right. Someone who comes over to see you, comes to your home, is a visitor.
Yay.
Well, then when I opened the door, there was no one there.
No one
there. And then I closed the door, and a second later, there was another knock, and I opened it, and it was my friend. He was playing a blank on me.
A trick?
He was playing a trick. He ducked around the corner the first time I opened so that there was no one there. He was playing a blank, a trick on me. And man, is that guy really blank? To play a trick
so a
on
man
me.
that's trying to trick you. So he might be a little mean.
He was mean. My friend was very mean.
Oh,
he was
okay.
unkind to trick me and make me think that ghosts were at the door or
Yeah.
something like that. All right, so there you go. There's the basic idea of a fill-in-the-blank sentence. You can put in
we're done?
any word there. I think we're done. We're almost out of time, and I can't think of a sentence for protect, so we'll just skip that one. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Free the animals, or at least put them in a nicer place, and we'll be back very, very soon. Oh, and don't hit elephants. It's just not a good thing to do. No, because if they hit you back, it'll hurt more.
Embrace them.
Yes, if you can get your arms around them. Yeah. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The one and only Ivan. Warm-up question. Is it okay to keep animals in cages? Why or why not?
Mac doesn't want Ruby to leave. He tries to teach her new tricks to make money. Mac hurts Ruby because she won't follow his orders. So Ivan comes up with an idea. He paints a picture of Ruby in a new home. Ivan gives his painting to a young visitor. She puts the painting next to the sign outside the mall. Visitors see the painting and get angry because Mac is mean to the animals. Mac has to close his business, and Ruby and Ivan move to a big zoo.
We can finally live in peace,
Says Ruby. Ivan feels proud because he protected Ruby.
Word power. Trick. Trick. Joe's dog can do a cute trick. He can shake hands with people. Joe's dog can do a cute trick. He can shake hands with people. Visitor. Visitor. Visitors at the park can play on the slides and swings. Visitors at the park can play on the slides and swings. Mean. Mean. No one likes Laura because she says mean things about the other kids. No one likes Laura because she says mean things about the other kids. Protect. Protect. My umbrella protected my head from the rain, but my shoes still got wet. My umbrella protected my head from the rain, but my shoes still got wet.
认识字汇
Painting.